Okay, it looked like. Okay. Alrighty, looks like we are live. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are the Morrisons. We're David and Tammy Morrison, and we are here to do Sunday service. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about connection and relationship goals and um, how to keep your relationship flowing, and also how to recognize each other and what gifts we bring to the relationship. So, baby, you want to start us off?
Yeah, we want to talk about connections. We like to use connection because we know there's all kind of relationships out there. There's, I mean, you name it, it's out there. So not to not include anyone, we want to talk about connections. One of the things we want to bring up before I do that, what's the weather like where you're at? Make sure you tap the screen, show the love, share the live, uh, whatever whatever platform you're on. We're on several different platforms. Uh, Tammy represent Savannah. I represent Brooklyn. Where you represent from, you want knowledge or whatever. We try to get back to it later because we don't stop once we flow, right?
Right, right.
Tammy's a little bit of tasker, she like to think. But that said, we want to talk about connection because we hear a lot of conversation going on about who should be the breadwinner, who should pay the bills, who should take care of this, who should take care of that. And me and Tammy together, we got about 90 years or so of relationship
Right.
experience between the two of us plus. And we feel that we can share things because we are that perfect match that we looked for. I mean, we searched high and low to find each other and was brought together not by mistake. We went through some changes to get here.
Right.
And that said, when we did connect, we came all the way across the country practically, and we were both struggling from prior relationships and still going through some things, especially me. And that said, Tammy was out there looking for her place, looking for her nice size mansion compared to my place, and I was just looking for a place. You know how military people are. We could almost sleep anywhere.
Right.
But we do things for our connected person that's in our life, and because we're quite satisfied, and I was quite satisfied. I kept my place like in the military, use the word field day and GI party clean and all of that stuff. I kept it immaculate. I think when Tammy walked into my place, she was like, because she's a smelling person. She said, "Oh man, it smells so clean in here." And then she got near my neck when I wasn't looking. Is that you? But that said, we met in a good way, and we 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 wanted to respect each other space, so we went back and forth, and it took us a while to say, you know what, we spend quite a bit of money, and you're over my place more than you're at your own place, so we did it, and we cohabitated for a while. Tammy came to the spot where she gave me the real for real talk. Uh, uh, um, I'm not going to play house too long, so I knew I didn't want to lose Tammy. So I went ahead and did what I had to do. But that's a whole nother story we shared before, but we share it again another day.
That's another live.
Yeah, that's another lie. But during the process, we both was paying separate bills, but we decided to come together. However, Tammy continued to pay the house note. I took care of everything else, and there was almost nothing she had to worry about. And some people would say, well, the house note is bigger, but back then, it's not like now. We're debt free, we like to say. Um, but then we had a few car notes and this and that. but she never had to worry about that. She didn't have to worry about the insurance, what have you, the food. I took care of all of that. And those of you that are in relationship, there shouldn't be one doing the other. We just flowed that way. I mean, if there was anything else needed, we just did it. We even had a drawer where we kept cash in, so we didn't have to go to each other. We kept cards laying, so the other one could just go ahead and grab the card. We also we didn't feel it necessary, but we always kept our other account also. You remember that side, which we still do. And Tammy said, "Hey, we need to join everything together." And it's not that we fight against it; it's just that we haven't, because there's certain financial institutions that Tammy likes better than me, and there's certain ones that I love to hate, but I have so much invested, I don't just let them go. You know, them brick and mortars. I like the on
Online ones.
yeah, the online stuff now. But that said, we just we never worried about how much money one spent, or nothing like that. There was times when we had a rough time.
Which was the opposite of our prior
Yeah,
relationships.
it was the true opposite. But that said, what you have to share on that?
I I mean I concurred with all of that because, my prior relationship, it wasn't that way. I mean, who I don't even want to go there. I just want to say it wasn't that way. And so, in this one, it amazed me because, because you think about that, you're like, oh well, she's paying the mortgage or the rent or whatever, and she's paying a bigger part. But no, when I looked at it, it really wasn't, because if he's paying the car insurance and the cell phone bills, y'all know all that stuff adds up. Buying the groceries, and then the other thing too is David loves to shop for groceries. I do not at all. I really don't. I do not like grocery shopping. Never have. To me, it was a necessary evil because I had children to feed. But if I didn't have to ever go, it was fine with me. But David likes to do that, and he likes to comparison shop. I can't stand that. So
Educated
I
consumer.
he's an educated consumer. So I don't have a problem with that. Some people would be, jumping up and down about that because I hear people talking, oh, well, he don't never, but David does that. And certain things, he when he came, he took over. Like, he knows that I have back issues from the work that I've done for a couple of decades, and so he'll mop the floors. I don't think, have I mopped the floor since we've been here?
No, I don't think so. You might have
Maybe
touched.
once or twice.
She touched them up before. No, to tell the truth, I don't count that because we just do what we need to do.
Yeah, and
I,
and it's okay
yeah.
as long as it works out for you. Because people are like, and he does a lot of the cooking. Now I do cook sometimes. I cook, but he does a lot of the cooking. And I don't have a problem with that. In certain things, and people like to try to compartmentalize jobs for people in relationships.
Yeah, and connection.
And why should you do that? Why can't everybody do what they do? Now I love to go clothes shopping, and I love to shop, to do thrift store shopping. I love that, you know, and he does too. But that's something that, and then the other part thing too is, we go on trips because travel is my love language. And David is a planner. I'm not. So people will ask me,
She can.
I can, but I don't enjoy it. If I have to do it, it's one of those other things. If I have to do it, I will do it. But typically he does the planning, and I don't have a problem with it. And people ask me stuff like, oh, well, how did you find this place? Or how did you find that? I said, David. I said, my husband, I said, he found it. I said, I don't do that part. Because I did do it in my last relationship. I did everything, all of it. So, worked 2, 3, 4 jobs, raised kids, went to church, did all the things, and anything else he needed me to do because, I pride myself as being a good wife, and I always have been. I just didn't have a good husband, and now I do. But there are so many things that I don't mind. Getting up and making sure that he has lunch. I don't mind making sure his coffee and everything is fixed for
Thank
him
you
to go
for
to
the gift.
work. I don't mind to do that, and whatever else I need to do for him. If I need to help him, rub him down or whatever, I'll do it. I don't have an issue with that. And I know a lot of women do. And let's say partners, a lot of other partners, they have problems with stuff like that, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, we heard some big debates lately on that,
Yeah.
on who should do what. I'll try to think of a good example, but it's been uh,
Well, laundry.
yeah, laundry, or who should do the cooking, or who should do the car, whatever. Tammy shocked me just the other day because I used to detail our vehicles, but she just went out there, came back, and the vehicle was bling bling. And I said, "Well, how much you pay somebody to do that?" She said, "I did it myself." And I was like, "Wow!" To myself, I probably should have told her that. But we don't have a problem picking up each other's thing we have to do, whatever needs to be done.
Yeah.
I, I probably, my daughter probably won't listen to this, so I could talk about it a little bit. And I got a few, so they won't know right away who I'm talking about. But I used to do the laundry in our prior relationship, not always by choice, but uh, anybody that's listening to me that's from the Navy know we know how to get white wiped. And my daughter, uh, uh, my ex didn't teach my daughter the trick. She said if you soil something, I won't go into detail because I don't want to embarrass. You throw it away or just use it for emergency. And I remember I seen something one day and I said no, because everybody had their separate baskets. It was crazy in that house. We spent so much money because everybody did their laundry separately. That's a whole nother subject. But I seen this laundry. Whenever I see laundry, I would have to go ahead and do it. Back then I was in the Amway thing, and I had the SA8. Those of you, the smashing white, and
Yeah, I
I didn't
remember that.
mind because that stuff really worked. And so I did all this laundry. I was all proud, and when I did it, I did it. I folded and everything, and this was with 12 to 16 hour shifts that I would work, and I remember one of my daughters complaining about me to my ex, "Daddy, wash my stuff here," and it was like I did something wrong. I was all proud, and they made me feel kind of bad. I said, "Oh man, I wasn't supposed to touch that." But at the same time, even now, when we do laundry, we make it kind of a family thing. We won't go into detail on that
Well,
part.
tell them how many sisters you have.
Oh, I have six sisters, and so I'm used to dealing with with that side of our culture better than most males. And I in the past I wouldn't have really said that, but when you've been on the planet over 5 decades plus, you can say that with reassurance. Because even in my military relationship, I had best friends and from the opposite sex, and a lot of times we like the same thing, if you know what I'm saying, and we could discuss, but we didn't let out our secret back then because we had the don't ask, don't tell. It was before the don't ask, don't tell, and guys would see me hanging out with the most beautiful women, and we were just best friends, but they never knew that. But I was able to do that. I was able to travel around the world and connect with a lot of females better than a lot of my friends because it wasn't always about that part, taking care of that business, taking care of wants and needs. I actually was able to make friends. I got spent the night and time at a lot of houses around the world. Sometime only me and 4 or 5 women, and guys would be amazed at that. That's a whole nother story too. But I was quite comfortable in their world and respectful, and guys didn't understand that. Just to tell you one short story, I was ship pull up in Italy, and I had some friends in Napoli. You might call it Naples, but we would see each other every time I pulled in for like 8 years or so, because I was on ships for 13 years, and so we were like family, and I would stay with these 4 or 5 women, and a lot of people didn't understand the Islamic culture like I did, because I stayed with them, met their parents. They were wealthy people over in Italy, and they were preparing us actually for marriage and all this stuff. And I really liked the girl, and some of my friends didn't understand how I could be with this girl 6 plus years or 8 years, and she was still a virgin. And my buddies would see me walking down the street with all these wonderful looking women, and they would be like, "Hey, let us come upstairs and bring some beer. Where the party at?" And none of us drink, including me at the time. Well, it was a respectable thing, but I was able to, and I'm glad I had that experience around the world. But yeah, my daughter hurt my feelings a little bit when she was offended when I was all proud. I got all this stuff that nobody could get white. I got it white because that's what we do in the Navy. That white uniform was expensive, so you better find a way to either mirage anything that you couldn't turn white, or you just got it white. But that said, me and Tammy, we just get laundry done together most of the time. Sometimes she's exhausted because she runs a stranger's business and put a lot of pressure on herself at home. And sometimes I just knock it out. She said, "Hey, you should have woke me up to help you." And I said, "But baby, you was like this." And she looks so beautiful when she sleeps. It's hard to. And when I kiss her, she don't just wake up. She just color up and get more cozy. So who's gonna wake her up?
I was gonna say, and then she
You
have
know,
team no sleep sometimes. So
yeah. Tammy fights relaxation sometime, and
it's
when I see her relax, it's even hard for. Don't tell her I said that, but it's even hard for her to watch a movie. Sometimes she have to feel like she's doing something. She have like 2 or 3 screens going at while we're watching the movie. Oh, we're gonna talk about that too. I forgot. And I'll be into the movie and I'll hear a noise. I say, "Hey, baby, what did that guy just say?" And then I look over. She'll have something talking over here, the device talking, and she said, "Honey, you're deaf. What are you talking about?" Because you got the military thing going on where I lost it. I said, "No, I heard that." She said, "No, you didn't." She and then she'll get all spiritual on me. She said, "Was that one of the fairies, or was that you being called?" I said, "No, it was your device over there. You need to shut it down. We need to watch this movie." But she's a busy person, so it's like I really enjoy seeing her rested. I enjoy seeing her not burnt out. She's able to work from home and do things from home, and she propped me up in life, and at times, and I don't mind. Sometimes she feel like she putting too much on me, but I'd be like, I worked, like I said, I worked at 12 and 16 hours, and some of you listened to the live before. I know I worked 7 days a week for 8 months straight at one point with my ex, and I still wasn't appreciated. So this is nothing for me. I'm closer to my retirement than I've ever been. Even though I'm Navy retired, those of you that's military know that's normally not really where you stop at in life, unless you're E9 or maybe not even an O5, a commander, whatever, or admiral or something like that. You're gonna keep it going. So I'm keeping it going. So I have a lot of confidence in Tammy's books behind us and all her all her online activities and the things she does around the world, I have a lot of faith in that stuff coming to light. It's came to light, and we have the residuals from it now, and I'm grateful for that. And there's been time I even said to my son, and he didn't know I was calling those things that be not as though they were, because I would say it in front of Tammy. I would say, yeah, I married a rich woman, so a wealthy woman, so I could kind of take it easy now. And he would look at me, he said, Daddy, she's standing right there. She hear you talking. I said, yeah.
She just flow.
Yeah, and I tell my son, I say, yeah, she know I didn't just marry her for her money though, so she's fine with it. So she got a lot more going than that. So he said, Daddy, I'm good at embarrassing young people sometimes. I probably need to stop it.
It's
but
fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
We'll continue to do it.
I even have them at my job. They think we on a. They don't know they're dealing with a guy that's been in the military for decades and did quite a few high level performing jobs, and it's their first job where I work at, and they think they are something because they know three things more than me in computers, and they've been in the workforce for 3 days.
I was gonna say 12 days.
Maybe 3 days, yeah. Maybe 3 years, but it's sort of like three days, and they feel like, oh man. But I have fun with them. I have fun with the young people, and I learn a lot from them too. I'm joking now, but I learn a lot from the younger people. I'm humble like that.
It's kind of like when you when you go for an interview and the person is 12 years old that's interviewing you.
12 and a half. Give them some.
And they ask you the stupidest questions, like, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I look at them and say, retire. Where you see yourself? And it's hilarious to me. And we actually talk about that because I know, because the older you get, the more you may have to go through that if you, get another job. If you're, especially if you're a person like me, you're a 2-year girl, you stay on jobs about 2 years and then it's time for you to go do something different.
Yeah.
And then you get these children, that interview, they're younger than your children, and they ask you all these dumb questions, and you almost want to say, look, are you gonna hire me or not? Stop all this stupid shit, because that don't matter about nothing. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah.
And you can always tell, when you have a seasoned person that you talk to, because they don't even go through all that.
Yeah, but that said, Tammy went through quite a few things health wise with the COVID and all that, the long, if you don't mind me saying, long COVID, and it's slowed down a lot of things. And when I seen at some point the exhaustion and the bags on the eyes and stuff, it made me feel like I had to step it up, and I had to keep telling. And then at some point, she realized when I said, I just would come home and say, I got you. And truthfully, I never told her this, but I didn't know how. I just knew I had her, and I felt that I had to reinforce that, because she's never been the type of person that took advantage of it. So I just said, and then when she finally took it, I was like, okay, I called that out. Now, Lord, you have to deliver, because this was faith right here, and it did. It delivered. So I'm happy for that. We're making great moves in our life. We've acquired and bought a few things in our life. We're building. We shakers and movers, and we just went, we just went out this weekend for the first time, and I'll just tell them the light part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we just met some people. We met the most wonderful people, and we're not really used to since before the pandemic, just going out meeting people that we just we just connect with just right away.
Yeah.
and we was invited to this meetup type thing, meet and greet.
Yeah.
And the people just we didn't click right away because Tammy told me about it, and then she was sitting up there saying, "I'm sorry I brought you here because these people are just in their own world and nobody came over to introduce." And then all of a sudden, I see Tammy. She got a little click. She wasn't even thinking about me. I don't know nobody. I'm sitting there by myself, and a guy just happened to sit at my table. He said, "Hey man, you over here sitting here all lonely looking." I said, "Yeah man, And we just flow. Before you know it, uh, um, we're driving. We're invited to this event. In fact, let's call it. It was a bonfire. And Tammy, being from Georgia and seeing the movie Get Out, she's like, "Honey, we shouldn't try to do everything."
You gotta tell them it was down. It was dark.
It was
late.
dark. It wasn't dark. It was dark.
It was dark, and it was out in the country.
It was in the country. It was farms around there and stuff.
So we're not from that area.
You're right. We're not from that area, and it's late at night, and
yeah,
and we seen the people before, but But anyway.
But we did know.
Yeah.
One of the couples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all these acres of land, and it was a bonfire, and we were like, we heard it on the television, but we never seen it in real life. And I'm driving up the road trying not to miss the turn because everything is zero dark 30. Yeah, pitch black. The movie Pitch Black. And all of a sudden I said, "Which way should I turn, Tammy? It's 2 arrows." And Tammy said, "I'm thinking about Get Out. Should we turn around?" And I said, "Oh, we only do this once in life. Come on." But when we got up there, the people were so down to earth, and
we had fun.
Yeah, we had so much fun. We just fell in love. But it's good to see other people that are happy, other connection. People were connecting so well. There was teams of people, if you know what I'm saying, and we just flowed. And Tammy was happy she did because she was saying Rome wasn't built in a day. Should we just meet these people again another time?
Y'all, it was late.
Yeah, it was late,
and we had to drive.
Yeah, we had to drive, but it was wonderful. We hadn't did it in a long time.
Yeah, we had fun.
And I don't know if there's anybody out there from Brooklyn or New York, but we knew how to turn it up. I've been to places in the Village and Manhattan, even after hours in Brooklyn, where they would just slow down about 5 a.m, and then if you wasn't a regular, you would start creeping out. But if you was a regular, they would start picking it up. Soon as the non-regulars start drifting out, they would pick it up for another 2-3 hours, and you would wind up in somebody else's house, in some restaurant. You never go home, or wherever, maybe even in a park. You just wind up somewhere, but you pretty much broke night. And I know I'm not as young, almost, but and I can't do it as much, almost. But it's fun
when
to
you do it.
Yeah, when we do it, it's fun, and we had a great time, and I would do it again. And
of course we paid the price the next day. At least I did.
It wasn't too
bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was aching.
Yeah, I was too, but I think I ignored it.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah,
I typically too. But we had fun, and that was the important part, because we all were kept all in, with all this COVID stuff for all these years, and couldn't even go out and socialize or anything like that. And I'm not a super socializing type of being. I mean, I'm really, even though you guys see me online, I am an introvert. I mean, I really truly could be at home, chilling. But every now and again, I do like to go out and shake a tail feather.
Tammy get out, and she just get. They love Tammy's spirit. I can't blame for that. But she get encircled by people, and she
they
be
really
in.
Do, don't they?
She just be in her in her what do you call that
Element.
element, and before you know it, I'm standing back there, and I'm talking to somebody. And I say, you know what? She didn't really want to stay here that long. You can't tell, right? He said, no, 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 girl, you can't tell.
Well, when you start connecting with people, like,
Yeah.
because it as it turned out, I think almost all the ladies that I connected with were right around my age, either a little younger, a little
One
older.
had the same birthday.
Yes,
What do you call
I met a
that?
birthday twin.
Yeah.
We're a year apart.
Thanks for
Born
the
on the
love.
same day. So yeah, I mean, it was phenomenal. We had such a good time, and and just connected like that. And then they were like, oh well, what about this and what about that? And I said, I don't know. He handles that. I said I don't know. I don't do that.
Right.
And even down to like I had to get gas today because there wasn't any gas in the car and I had to go somewhere
We don't really do that hardly.
and I forgot where the gas cap was and how to get to the little pump thing
Because I usually take care of that.
because David usually takes care of that and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I thank him all the time because I do appreciate, and that's another thing that I know that, if you're in a relationship or, you have
The connection.
yeah, then, appreciate each other,
It's
and
all right.
let each other know. I tell him all the time how much I appreciate him and how much I love him and, love the things that he does for me and, and how he cares for me. And because that was something
Thank you.
I didn't have.
Thank you for joining and subscribing. And oh yeah, thank you for subscribing.
And thank y'all for
Tapping, and thank you for the heart.
so yeah, so we, so just, we I want to say just make sure that, when you're in a relationship, that it's a synergistic relationship where, one hand watches the other, and everybody is doing what they do. Because, we know couples that the husband stays home and takes care of the kids and the wife go to work because she either, really likes her job and makes a lot of money. And so she goes and she works and the husband
Be comfortable with
stays
that,
home.
guys.
Yeah,
She
be
makes a lot of
comfortable.
money.
Just let them do what they do and it works for them, as opposed to some other couples where I've seen and I experienced this in my first relationship where when I tried to go back to school and make more money and all this stuff, he was so jealous that he sabotaged that for me every single time I tried to go.
I went through the same.
Right. You see, and we went through that with those people and it was crazy because, you know, I've always been a giver. So it didn't even matter. I didn't even think about it. I just thought that's more money for us, but he, selfish. He didn't think that. He thought, okay, she gonna go make more money. I think he thought if she gonna go make more money, she gonna leave me. That was, I think, what he thought when I think about it now. But, if you're in that type of, if you have that type of connection, then, everybody's bringing everything to the table, you know? And I think it's awesome when, one is out there working, the other one, regardless of who it is, regardless of assigning, gender roles or, whatever you do, just be together and have that synergism and that connection, and so that, and to me, that's a happier relationship. I'm hella happier when I don't got to get gas in the car. I love it. I'm so good with it. I don't need to get upset. I have no problem with it. Nothing, you know. And even during the pandemic, David would order the groceries. So they'd come to the house and we just get them from the front door. And I was really, really happy about that. I have no issues. No issues with that, because that's his thing and he does that. And he's, a value shopper and stuff like that. Me, I'm not that way. If it looks like what I want and I can afford it, I just buy it. I don't care what it costs.
Yeah, she's right about that. I say, how much was that a pound? Oh, it only costs $22. I said, no, a pound. She said, I don't know. It says it right there. And I said, no, that's $22 a pound. So all you got is 1 pound. So, yeah, But what's cool about being connected too, people around you are influenced by you. Uh, um, my son, who's a Navy man himself, he just amazed me when we drove across. We stayed in Arizona, as you can see from the Arizona flag. We stayed in Arizona, and it was like we drove across California to Arizona, vice versa. And he was in the back seat, and he seen me with a t-shirt on the whole ride, and Tammy was bundled up in a blanket and probably a jacket and gloves because she kind of traveled like that. And he seen me wiping my head pretty much and keeping the
He
heat.
was sweating bullets.
Yeah, keeping the heat on for Tammy because Tammy's a different person when it comes to weather because she she opens the window wide in the morning and it's 60 degrees in the bathroom and and the steam is going out and it's crazy, but she gets free, she freezes and have this the heat on we got this heated seats and sometimes I'm driving. I forget she been in the car before, except for the fact I got to squeeze it. I said, wait, I got to slide this seat back. But and then bring it up. But I forget about the heated seats, and I when I get in my car, almost no matter how cool it is outside, I'll turn on the air conditioner. As long as it's not 30s.
That's
Well,
why I have gloves
yeah.
and jacket.
But when I'm by myself, but I'm mindful when she's there. But all of a sudden, I got the air condition cranked up. I'm driving. I'm sweating bullets. The air condition say 60 is blasting, but I'm still feeling the heat. I'm saying, oh man, it's a brand new car. Why ain't the air working? And then I forget I got heated seats. And the heated seats don't just be on low heat, it be on high heat. And I'd be like, oh, no wonder my biddles are burning. I'd feel something cooking back there. I said, well, what's going on back there? You know. But yeah, she shocks me a little bit with the heat, but it when you connect it, you want your partner to be comfortable. And
And
some
he saw that,
yeah, he saw that
and he does it with
and,
his wife.
and his new wife, I mean, he's in his first and only marriage, and he's just so into uh, 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 pleasing
He's attentive.
yeah, he's very attentive. They're attentive to each other, but
Yeah.
I love it to see. He's probably a bigger guy than me almost, but he's got his beard and everything. He got this tough look, but you could see the baby face in him, and when he just melt for that woman, and that, thank you for the love,
Thank you.
and it's just wonderful to see, especially with young people,
Yes.
and they're doing so good. They traveling to
We
Mexico
are so proud of them.
and everywhere, and just working from home and
Yeah.
making
And
dollar bill,
and
y'all.
making moves.
Yeah, and we love it that when we see the young people could do stuff for us, when they take us out. One of my sons, I think he got offended because he thought I was being sarcastic, and he paid the bill for my birthday, and it was a nice, pretty big restaurant bill. And I said I was so happy. I said, "Wow," but he thought, he thinks too deep. That's the one that thinks too deep, and
Mm-hmm.
he I think he got a little butt hurt, and then he tried one.
No, you gave a tip, and then he gave a tip.
Yeah, I gave a big tip since he
Because
took care.
yeah, and we
And,
told him that.
and he tried to outdo me on the tip. So this dude got what we pretty much paid for the meal because I gave almost, you know, it was good service. So I gave almost 50%, and I think he topped me. And so this man got the meal price to put in his pocket. But I wasn't hurt by it because I said, hey, if that's.
Maybe
But,
that's what he was supposed to do.
but also I know he don't. At that time, I'm hoping he rolls better. But at that time, I know he wasn't rolling like me financially. So, when he did the meal, that was good. You know, a lot of people, that's a whole nother subject too,
Yeah, that's
don't
another
know
level.
how to really accept blessings,
How to receive.
how to receive. And
But
that's something,
we're not taught that.
right. And that's something we learn and we accept in life, no matter how small. You give me one rose right now, I'm happy, you know.
Well, my grandma taught me that, um, when you receive from people, you never know if it's God telling them to be a blessing to you. You never know, what is what is the long game of when they're a blessing to you and you receive it.
Right.
And so she taught me that. I was a teenager and she actually sat me down and talked to me about that. So I knew from then. So I don't have a problem receiving. And I actually taught my kids that too. I said, if because you never know, it might be God saying, I need you to be a blessing to so and so and so and so. And that might be their test of obedience. And if you say, oh no, don't never mind, then you messing up the whole process. It's like the circle of life.
Right.
You're disturbing the gap. So you just have to learn how to receive, because you have to, because to be honest, if you mess up the giving and receiving cycle, you're going to be out of balance and out of alignment. So you want to make sure that you understand and know how to receive. you know
And talk about connection sometime, when you are that connected, in that connected
Energy.
relationship, energy partner, you're gonna experience some stuff. I remember going through a fairly rough divorce, and going, we got to go before a judge just like anybody else. I don't care what job you have. And a lot of you good men, you pay a price a lot of times, and
Ooh.
not a fair price, that is, because it was said to me that I should be able, while I was in my new marriage, pay a relationship that she asked to separate, and pretty much establish her on the level where I was working the 8 months straight, set for 7 days, because it looked like, and I made a lot of money, but then I don't know if you know what it's like moving from a place like Jersey or the East Coast to Arizona. Your money is not the same,
No.
but I was treated like it was. And I don't like to blame it on any set thing, but a lot of us, we know what it is. And one of the main reasons is being a man a lot of times. But during that time, I remember Tammy. She was like, she picked up the slack, and she told me one day. She said, I asked the Lord for a simple, marriage here. I didn't ask for all this baggage. And some people would get offended, but I know Tammy don't bite the tongue. If she did, she would probably bleed out, and I'd probably be, putting a tourniquet on, taking. But that said, um, I said, think about your blessings. I said, here I am. I was building up in life to where I was at that point. So I said, here I am. I have medical for the rest of my life. And that's one thing TRICARE, retired military do. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's better than most.
It's
Most.
better than not having nothing.
Right, and it's better than most. And I told Tammy, I said, well, Tammy, I said I could have a lot more, because Tammy, she looking good now. So she has some sideliners that were waiting for me to trip and stumble. She don't know that I know that much, but at the same time, I had sold myself and told her, hey, these dudes don't rock like I rock. They like one hospital visit away from broke. And then she started putting two and two together. She said, you know what? And and she didn't just marry me for my money either. Just like I
I was
did.
gonna
Just,
say,
yeah,
and when you came,
yeah,
you have been through something. So,
yeah.
and that's another thing too. I knew when we met, I knew that he was my husband. I knew it. I knew it when I met him.
You ladies have to listen to this, and some of you
I
in the
mean,
other
when I met
relationships.
him, I knew. You want me to share where we met?
Yeah, you should.
So we met in church. He was visiting, I was visiting, and I was sitting there and listening to the sermon or
Hey,
whatever.
tell her what kind of church, because neither one of us are really into that. But at the same time, if it's
It
is
was a
it a person
purpose.
of God? Is a person of God.
Yeah, it was Church
So
of God in Christ,
right,
Kojic.
yeah.
Some of you know what that is, apostolic. And so yeah, so we met there, um and I called him a few times because I asked for his card because the girl that I went to the church with said, "Are you gonna get his number?" Because he walked in, and I said, "Ooh." And I said, "Yes, I'll do that." And I did. And so, we finally connected. But he don't know, I already had a dream about him. And the thing about that is I was not a person that typically remembered my dreams often at all. Every now and again I would have some that I would remember, but I didn't typically remember them. But I remembered that one. I had a dream about him, and so I said, okay. And and so then when we went out to dinner that next weekend, um, when he left my house, I called my mom and I said, which is really weird, y'all, because my mom is like Sleeping Beauty, and I was on the West Coast, and it was about 10 o'clock at night, so that means it was about 1 in the morning where she was, and she answered the phone, which I already knew something was strange about that because my mom don't be up at those hours unless she's out or something. And so I told her that I think I just went out with my husband, and yeah, so I knew even through all of the things that we went through in order for us to be together, I knew that he was the one that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And it was just that clear to me. And at that time I was growing and learning really how to trust, my intuition, how to trust the God that lives inside of me. I was doing all that. I was in that process. And so when I heard that, I was like, okay, but then mind you, I had already heard um the year before that was time for me to leave where I was before to go to Arizona. And so and I did it. I just took off, packed my car, and I had $500, and I packed my car and just drove. So I truly am a person of faith, you know. And so I felt like that was another step in that arena. That was another step in that arena of faith. Because I heard it, and then I actually told him, which actually I was almost scared to tell him because ladies, y'all know that a lot of times when you tell a man something like that, it
Goes to
scares
the
them.
head.
They
or,
run.
or it goes to the head.
Yeah, either one.
Right.
So I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna take a chance, and I'm just gonna tell him.
I got a little nervous because I said I had just been just went through something. I said we're doing fine with this start of a cohabitation, but Tammy spoke the word, and I knew I had to get right. I almost lost it by trying to get right, and that's a lesson for some of you. She was about to delete my name from her phone because it was near the end of the year because I was slow dragging because I had so much baggage and I had so much respect for Tammy. I didn't want to drag all the baggage, but guess what? I waited and I dragged some baggage anyway, and
That
almost
part.
lost that in the process. So sometimes you just have to meet where you are, and I
Yes.
mean, but but both parties have to be aware of what you might have to go through if you really care for this person. But when you go through together, when you go through with somebody, when you're connected, you go through as a connection. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And I have and you know who I'm talking to if you're listening. I have a couple that we game together, And the way you connect, you're from North Carolina, so you know who I'm talking about. The way you connect, you have that connection like we do. And it's wonderful to see that, especially in younger people,
Mm-hmm.
because you know you're going to go through some stuff. Just the way you look together, the way you are together, there's going to be forces that want to pull you apart for whatever reason. And one of the things that make our relationship so strong is I turned around and she accepted the fact that I said, well, you might feel different, but I know there's nothing that you can do in the world that will make me turn away from you. And that's a powerful statement because some people, that's walking papers to walk over you. But I know Tammy's spirit. But I just hope she feel the same way about me because I know I'm not the one that ever get the walking papers. So
You don't have to hope.
yeah, I know. But for some of you, that's a powerful statement. And some of my friends said, but suppose she, I said, well, it would hurt, but I would have to turn around. I would have to turn around and swallow my hurt, my pride, or whatever, and accept the fact that we've been through so much that we can work it out, no
Yes.
matter what it is. But a lot of people can't say that, and that's not a ticket for somebody to accept abuse or take
Right.
abuse. But when you know somebody's heart, you know also with the human flesh, sometimes we go through things. And at the same time, that's not an excuse. And that's not an excuse to do wrong or keep on doing wrong. But life happen.
Mm-hmm.
And people like to pretend, you hear these people saying, yeah, I did it this long and nothing ever happened. It's been perfect. That's bull, yo. And when you can accept that, you can bounce back from things that come at you because the world come after you. I don't care. I don't care who you're in a relationship with. If you're solid in your connection, just like my North Carolina couple, I won't call your name, but you know who I'm talking about. I'm very impressed when I see that. When I see what we have in somebody else, I'm so impressed
Yeah.
because I know, and we've been some places and and been around some some folks where I was like after, but I would say, you see where that person was looking the same the whole time, and Tammy, we were like, well, that person like the way my hair was, or like my eyebrow. I said no, the eyes never came up that high. I said you got to take note. But we make jokes about it because we're comfortable. We're
Well, we're
comfortable with
human.
us. Exactly.
And just yeah, I mean, people make they make too much out of that kind of
Yeah, they
stuff.
do.
It's like, you're human. Yes, this is my soulmate. I love him to pieces. And same thing. I don't care what he do. I'm his. I'm with him. But I ain't dead or blind.
Hey, Tammy, it was a guy. It was a guy on the World Wide Web just recently talking about his wife. He said, "Do you know?" And some of you heard this one. I was up in a bar with my wife and about five of her friends, and I'm flipping the bill. So the bill is getting deep, and I'm just gonna do the short version. He said, and dude, he said before I know it, I'm getting deep because I'm treating everybody. He said, and there was some dude who I'm just giving you a different version, but told my wife something like he wanted to pay her pay her what the bill was more than that, just to see her toes because he had a toe fetish. He said, "Yo," but that's a whole nother thing. But he was like, nah. He said it paid the bill, y'all, and we went home together. you know, but we're not that deep. But we don't sweat stuff.
No.
We're not scared if somebody come up and have a conversation with us. We'd be like, you know what? Yeah, that sounds good, but that's your heart.
Yeah, because women
Yeah,
always come
yeah,
and want to have a conversation with my husband.
right.
And I had to just, chill out.
Tammy didn't have to chill out. She was always chill.
I
She
don't
she
know. Some of them.
no, she told me later, hey, I was about to, and I said, Tammy, I said, yeah, yeah. But we laugh about it.
We do. Because I
Truthfully,
tell him, I said, she kept on, I was going to beat her ass.
yeah.
But,
But at the same time, we know,
yeah, we know.
yeah.
We know. We know. Yeah. And it's all good.
But it's all also been some situations because we both have worked in pretty rough environments. When I say rough, I mean rough, and we're in the type of environments the average person couldn't survive in, even if you even if you're above average.
Right.
And we basically came from kind of the same background. And I remember a point where we was downtown in this city. I won't say where. And I know from what I've been around, just growing up in the streets of Brooklyn, when you're being tested. And Tammy, from her experience and working around the same type of environment, she know too. And I don't know if some of you can relate to me. When you've been on the planet a half a century plus, you kind of pick things up pretty quick,
And especially being intuitive.
right. And this young man made it clear that he was more interested in my connection than me, and he let it be known from his body language, the way he was totally focused on her. But she was chilled enough because we have that body language to just step back so she wouldn't be in the limelight. And I didn't know how this was gonna go. And this dude was like half my age, and those of you that have been around, at a certain age, you just think about the tricks. You say no, this is not going to be your regular one-on-one if it goes there. But you prepare, especially military. You're always prepared. And I actually noticed a cruiser going around the block. This is how serious this was. Busy part of this downtown, and his timing was kind of just right where I knew he was patrolling that particular area from his time. I said, okay, if this goes south, I only have to hold this person until this cruise come back. But that's how serious what I mean. I knew I was being tested from the handshake on. When somebody just shake your hand and somebody just testing you, and this was truly a test. And I could tell he's been around. I could tell he did some time behind the gate, even because
The gated community.
yeah, because he was a young man and he knew so much about chess, and chess is not really your average young man game, especially one that came from his background, because he told me about his background, where he was raised at and stuff. And I said, okay, this could go. I said, I'm gonna keep it cool, and it kept cool. But when you have a connection, you're ready. And Tammy was prepared. She gave us space and stuff. So, like one of the guys I used to work with, he was with his wife, and somebody kind of recognized him and thought they wanted to get with him, but they didn't know this guy. He was a certified like MMA fighter, so his hands was registered. And when this guy challenged him in public with his wife, and the other guy had his wife with him, and they were near a bus stop, and my buddy, he kind of welcomes whatever flows
Challenges.
challenges, and this guy wasn't ready for that, and the guy's woman kind of seen that, and she was like, honey, come on. But my buddy's wife was sort of like Tammy. She stepped back, she gave him space, and my buddy said, well, I have to tell you, my hands are registered, you know. that alone would have made me say, you know what?
Never mind.
Next time, I wouldn't even went there to be next time.
Not today.
But the guy was like, start listening to his wife more and more. And my buddy was kind of steamed up because the guy really broke off at him to where people at the bus stop was trying to egg it on. Like, yo, man, you just call him out. Go ahead. Do what you say you're going to do. But he wouldn't, and my buddy, I say, oh, yeah, my wife is standing over there, but you're going to hide behind yours. Okay. But they let it go, But when you have a connection, you read each other's body's language. You know how to back out of stuff. You know how to handle stuff together. You know how to de-escalate. It's all about de-escalating nowadays.
You know how to support.
Right. You know how to support because it's easy to escalate anything.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think it's hard to de-escalate, but it's not.
No.
And sometimes I have said things because I've been around over 20 something different countries, and I have actually said, no, you don't want to go there. And sometimes just that mild way of putting it, they realize that they don't want to go there.
Exactly. But that's so cool because, and I love the fact that, David is so supportive, and that is something that I didn't have before. And so, at first I had to learn how to receive in that way. Now I know how to receive money. I know how to receive gifts, but I had to learn how to receive support, because it was something that I wasn't used to. I was used to always, and for those of you that, rock with the spirituality, I was used to being in the divine masculine, and so I had to learn how to be in the divine feminine and allow him to be in the divine masculine, and that's just saying that, you in relationship and in when you have connection, you have to learn the giving and the taking, and learn how to, be supportive in the way that that person needs, and certain things, because I've been a caretaker for all these decades, I'm still that, even though I'm not working on those floors anymore, I'm still a caretaker and I still take care. So anything, I'm always, paying attention in that way, and I know that he appreciates me because of it, so I try to, I'm usually kind of vigilant about certain things, but I had to learn, how to accept support, and how to recognize that, sometimes.
We won't talk about that. Tammy heard something, but we're going to leave that alone.
Heard something. They smoking out back there. Ugh, it's all in the house. So anyway, yeah, so that being said, I think we probably can land this plane.
Yeah, Tammy's divine masculinity is pretty powerful, and I have to respect that because it can be on a level of, some of you know what I'm talking about, stud mode, to where I have to respect that because I know it's there. I know she's capable, and sometimes she actually apologized to me, but she don't know I'm ready for it. I respect it because I know.
But sometimes it's necessary, right?
Right, it is. And you don't mind me saying your height, right?
No.
Tammy's 5 feet, and she be standing up against people that are 5'10" and 6 feet and stuff, and I'd be like, Tammy, you're littler than that person right there. But at the same time, I respect that because she knows how to back people up, and because
especially with the medical stuff.
Yeah, because Tammy's worked in a mental health field medically, and some of the guys, they come from behind the wire and stuff, and they think they can, especially nowadays, they think they can intimidate their way through stuff. And Tammy got a bark, and she can kind of back it up, and they realize she knows how to go there, and they try to turn it into a laughing fest or like a
Because they know
joke.
I'm not the one.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to go that mode, and I respect that one. Sometimes I joke a little bit too much, and I know I push a button, and she apologized later. I say, I was ready for that. Basically, I deserve that. So I'm chill with it. But that's coming from dealing with women too. Like growing up. I have an older sister. Uh, uh, no matter how old I am, she keep calling me baby brother, and I keep saying, okay, uh, young older sister, because she's beautiful inside and out, but I learned that from growing up with the women in my family, and having a uh, um, great grandmother that was there when I was a little kid. I was born in the mid 1800s, but she lived 110, and the two grandmothers I was born in the 1880s and 1890s that I got a chance to enjoy from up into the 80s and even up to 2001, 2002. But but these women did a lot for me in my life, and they showed me the
Thank you for
power.
the gifts.
Thank you for the gift. They showed me the power and the importance of having not only strong men mentorship, but strong women mentorship. And I don't even like to use the word strong women because that's overused.
Yes.
But just having, you know, I have so much respect in knowing what I know, what they go through, and the challenges. And sometimes this is another live, but even they don't look at each other with the awe in the reverence that I do. And sometimes that upsets me because sometimes they're each other's worst enemy because they don't men get over stuff and still uplift each other sometimes even when they're going through stuff. But women sometimes they don't.
hold on to stuff.
Yeah, they hold on to stuff. Not in general, but I'm just talking the small populace. They should practice
It's a lot of them.
uplifting. Yeah.
And
Better.
I mean, honestly, we could go real deep on that
Yeah,
too, but
yeah.
we won't today.
Right.
because honestly, when you hold on to things and you don't release stuff, what happens to it? Where do you think it goes? It gets trapped in your body.
Internal.
In your body, in your nervous system, in your cells, in your chakras. All that stuff gets trapped in there, and you wonder why, you're having cancer. You look up and you see a woman that has ovarian cancer or uterine cancer or something like that. What do you think that comes from?
Right.
So you have to kind of, you can consider that. But that's another live. You can follow me and watch me, and I'll talk about that.
But Tammy was talking about landing this plane.
Yeah, let's land
I
this
really
plane.
enjoyed the time we spent a little time, didn't
We did.
we? Yeah.
Hour.
Okay. Well, and we wanted to actually, but when it flows, it flows. We really appreciate everybody coming in and
Yeah. Thank you for the likes and the
the
hearts
stars
and all the
and,
things.
and all of that. And especially the follows and
Yeah.
and the subscribing and the sharing and the the comments.
Yeah.
And we do. You could get in our inbox. Feel free. We know sometimes you have to go ahead and friend to really have a conversation in inbox.
But don't come with no foolishness.
Yeah. see, that's that part I was talking about. That's that Savannah.
Come on, but don't come with no foolishness.
That's what some of us Brooklyn boys like. That Savannah. Southern women. They ain't all bells. Trust me.
I think about that, y'all, because my grandmother was 4'9", and she was like E.F. Hutton. Y'all, I know we're dating ourselves, but E.F. Hutton talked, everybody listened, and that's how my grandma was. And so I followed in her footsteps. So
I love the way Tammy say some stuff. I can hear the Georgia come out. Yes, ma'am. But she got that thing down. But Tammy melts your heart. You get to know her. You can get to know her through her books, like the ones behind us, and she has a few more. And listening to her lives and just finding her on all these other medias on
Yeah, go to my
YouTube
YouTube
is like
channel. If you're
big,
watching me on TikTok,
over 1,000.
yeah, go to my YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
educational.
Right? Go to click the link in my bio for my YouTube channel and go and subscribe and watch some videos.
The link tree tells it all.
I have that on there. I have the Eventbrite for the
Eventbrite,
for the thing.
but she got the link tree on some of it, right?
Mm-mm.
I got it on mine because I don't have my link trees up there yet, so I have Tammy's. So just feel free to tap into it, see what she's about.
I put the link for the class that I'm doing on awakening your intuition. So if you are interested in that, we have that class starts on November the 6th, and it's going to be, I think, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and 7 p.m. UK time. And it's going to go into, awakening your intuition, going into your gifts and how to use them, and so that you can maximize them in your life. Because, I'm tired of these people talking about, the spiritual gifts, and, you see everybody talking about it and coming on and all that stuff, but nobody really helps you to apply them. So I'm going to be providing exercises. We're going to do a meditation journey in each of the sessions. So that link is in my bio for Eventbrite so that you can sign up for that, because that's going to be phenomenal. And just continue to keep following me, because I'm going to be doing some more workshops. Matter of fact, I'm planning one now for teaching you how to connect with your intuition to read oracle cards. If that's something that's in your awareness, something you want to do, you want to learn how to read the cards, then I have a workshop that's coming up for that as well. So just continue to keep following me, and I'll be bringing more information on those things.
Tammy's birthday is counting down.
My birthday is coming.
Really soon.
Scorpio season is coming. It's almost here.
The first person in the month.
111. That's my birthday. So I'm gifts. I'll take gifts. I'll take Cash App.
Yeah.
I'll take subscribers. Whatever you want to give, I am open to receive.
Hey, by the way, we celebrate for a whole 30 days.
Yeah.
I did mine's a whole month of September. But don't feel bad if you forgot to send something.
And it just comes in your mind.
Yeah, I'll just take it a little bit afterward, even light afterward.
Yeah.
So, but we do the whole 30 days. This don't mean we party till we drop. We just drop nuggets and trinkets and just do things.
Just be celebratory.
Yeah, almost every day or every other day, or sometimes we might skip a day or two or three. But
it might be weekly.
Yeah, but that whole month we just think of things,
Yeah.
I remember. I have to tell the story. I got Tammy the nicest. She likes the New York cheesecake sometimes. I got her the nicest cheesecake, but I didn't know over here in Washington State the humidity is a little bit different than it is back east. Well, really anywhere we live. Because in Arizona, the humidity hardly don't exist. Humidity up here is 70 to 100 average. Down there, it's 10, 6.
0 to 10.
You'd be like, wow, the humidity is humidity.
They'll say, if it's 20, they'll say, man, the humidity is
Yeah, they say that thing is like over 20. And we never dealt with mold. But I'm gonna tell you, I sat this thing in a nice stuffed away corner because I wanted to bring this one out because I think I had already bought a cake. We can't eat all of this, but we like just doing stuff, and we give away a lot of stuff. And I found a nice little corner, and Costco's cheesecake had just found mold. I was so humiliated, embarrassed, and disappointed. and I had to.
We just didn't know, y'all.
Yeah, we didn't know. I mean, it was only for a short while too. It was like a
Yeah.
day and a half, 2 days,
Mhm.
because we're in the process of moving to a bigger place, all this stuff, and bigger refrigerator.
Yes.
So we couldn't do it at the time, but we were like, wow, we did not know mold find things in corners and nooks and crannies. But Washington State, it's one of the wettest states. We found out it's not the rainiest state.
Yeah, that was
So
surprising.
that was because they
I
had,
think because it's concentrated rain
yeah,
here.
it's
Like
constant
there, that rains,
that
all year
pours,
long.
or it pours.
Right.
But
But here,
here,
it's just consistent sometimes.
if you ever heard in Genesis the dew in the morning, in the beginning, a lot of times it's like that. But it'll drizzle, and the people make you know you're not
In Kansas.
in Genesis because they start driving so stupid. It's like not everybody, but you get enough of them.
And then, y'all, it rains with the sun shining, like blasting.
But sometimes you get a rainbow.
Right? Rain. Yeah, I seen. What
A
I got
few
two
times.
rainbows. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, the sun was blasting and it was raining. You know, I lived here 35 years ago. And I remember when that happened, I was the first time I was in my 20s. And I remember that happened. And the first thing I did was call my grandmother and tell her that the devil was beating his wife. Because that's what the people told me. They said when the sun is shining and it's raining, that means the devil is beating his wife. Now I don't know what the symbolism or whatever. I don't know why they said that, but that was what they said. So I called my grandma and tell her that. And she did just what I just did. She laughed at me, but she did it so sweetly. but, but yeah.
Now, honey, come over here. Let me explain.
She laughed so hard.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Whoo. But yeah, so anyway, that's just a little Pacific Northwest humor. So we'll land this plane and we'll
Hope I didn't
be
make you yawn.
mhm. We'll be back next Sunday possibly.
We're planning to be back for the next Sunday service, and this is not just for Sunday service, but it's for anybody want to listen. We're not stuck up in any kind of
Co-
cult, like so. No matter where you at in life spiritually, that's where we meet you at.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
if we can, we will be here. We're gonna believe by faith. We will be here. We're gonna believe by then. We'll be retired. Hey, I'm speaking that thing out.
Yes.
We're gonna believe by then. We and you have everything that we can ever want, ask, or think.
Yes.
And we just believe this because a lot of us are just like me and Tammy. We work too hard in life. We realize we put a lot into work. But me and Tammy woke up one day and we said, "Wait, we ain't putting enough in ourselves.
Yes.
We don't have. We're staying in a smaller place than we ever stayed. We had the means and the resources to get a much better place while we're waiting for a place to be built. And we said, let's do it. And and that's the way we live life. We live life in the moment, not
Fearless, really.
carelessly. Yeah, not carelessly, but in the
When you
moment.
think about it, it's fearless.
Right.
And because what I notice is so many people have so many hangups and so many fears and phobias and stuff like that.
Right.
And especially, like I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday and we were talking about, she was saying, oh, you moving because we're moving more south than where we are, which is amazing, a blessing, and I'm so grateful. But she was like, oh, that's so far and this and that. I said, well, what difference do it make? I said, we're not glued to any place. I said, if it's time for us to go, it's time for us to go.
And you know what? All our children are really the same way. If you think about it,
Yes,
even the ones we be like, because no name, but even the ones we be like, they stuck. But when you think of it, They went from one side of the country to the other also.
Yep.
All of them. We have some that travel from Texas to
So think about
Oregon,
it. We have the
from
one,
California to South Carolina. Oh, they in Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
ones that got married.
yeah.
Yeah, they were in Texas
Arizona to Pennsylvania.
and a couple other places. And it's amazing when we because we
Right.
kind of just put that together. Because we
They
have
got the same thing. They don't even realize it.
they don't.
Even we have kids that be like, oh, we're not like mom or dad. but then you look at them, you be like, is that the mirror? And we have to be careful. We just heard this to give due. We have to be careful. Sometimes the things we dislike about our children once they're adults, and sometimes when they even kids,
It's in us.
it's us. It's what we see in us. So be careful.
And that's even with other people too.
With the young people, the other people, even
because you examine, if it's something that bothers you about somebody else, look at yourself.
Right, it's what's in you.
And see, examine why, you feel like that about that person. Because I've seen that where a person just irritated me, because I'm not a person that hates. I'm not like that. But like they irritate me and they trigger me or something like that. And then when I start looking at it and really diving in, and I do a lot of reflection and a lot of journaling and stuff like that, and I start looking at it, and I'm like, wait, okay, the reason why they irritated me and pissed me off is because that's in me. So that means that I got to deal with this that's in me. And that was something, right? That was a revelation that you're right. Like, we just had a couple of our kids, they just moved from Texas to Oregon.
Right.
And they're so happy that they made that move. And I honestly, when they told me, I was actually kind of shocked that they actually did it. I don't know why I would be or why I should have been, because my children are like me. And so I recognize that. But when they actually finally did it, I was like, wow, you guys did that thing. And they did it well. And then the ones that were in Texas, they moved to Georgia. And so there's one still left in Texas, and then we got other kids, on different places on the East Coast. So it's like, wow, they really, and so we, on some level, we instill that fearlessness in them, on some level, or they absorbed it from us, because when I think back on some of the things and the moves that I have made, I astound myself, because I just did it, didn't even have a real plan either, That's the thing. So just did it. Just said, okay, this is what we're going to do.
Share the love.
So, yes, make sure you share it out. And those of you that are watching on TikTok, if you want to go back and, watch the replay, you can watch it on my YouTube channel, which the link is in the bio, or you can go on my Facebook page and watch it, because we're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
All right.
So y'all make sure y'all have a good night. Those of you that are where you are is night, or have a magical day if wherever you are is day.
And shout out to all our people.
Yeah.
And the people in Brazil, I know you are definitely on a different time. If one of you are listening, because I got a lot of the Afro Latinas, the just the people in Brazil, period. If you could tell me what time it is there real quick, I would appreciate it. If you're on a live, if you're in Europe, if you're in Africa, the people from our country of Nigeria. One day we'll talk about my Nigerian family and the people from the Congo. The Congo, and around the area.
I was going to say, my beautiful Kenyan friends. I have some beautiful Kenyan sisters. I have some beautiful Nigerian sisters.
And our
family. I have some Ethiopian and Eritrean sisters. So any of y'all, we love and appreciate all of you, and thank you for your support. And
And
thank you for watching.
and our extended family from the Philippines, and and this is real. And the ones, what part of the European country that was Wales? Of
Wales?
course, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Some of you know.
Scotland?
Yeah, some of you
Ireland?
know the name come from there. And Tammy can actually trace back to Spain and stuff like that. So all our family around the world, show some love. Drop. You could do it in our inbox or whatever. We'd like to know the time you were listening, where you're from.
And if you have anything you want us to talk about, because we always ask that every week, because we know that there are different topics that people want to hear about, and we want to talk about them. so if you have something that you want us to go deep on, or just drop it in our inbox. And like I said, none of that foolishness.
The world is small, so show some love.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's easy to talk about all the negativity that's going on.
Yeah.
But let's talk about connection. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about how small the world is.
Let's talk about love is love.
Yeah, love is love. How good it is to have a passport or the passport card. And if you don't have one,
get you one.
It's still good because there's so much to see in America. But just reach out and realize that when you go live, you're not just dealing with your homies in the neighborhood. You're not just dealing with people across the state, but people across the world. And some of the people that's around the world might be going up to the other parts of the universe because they still searching. Hopefully.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is we also might have those universal beings watching us now.
Right.
Because, y'all think that it's just people here on Earth that are here, but there are beings everywhere in the universe.
And that's another lie.
That Nico said, the Milky Way. We gotta give her that credit.
Yeah.
But I mean, that credit.
Tell them who that is real quick.
Nico?
Yeah, some of them.
Oh my God, they. She goes. They go by they. So they do that song Jericho is one of my favorites, and they've got some other ones that are amazing. Yeah. But if you definitely follow her, because she's the truth, y'all.
If I tell you one of my favorite artists, I probably lose some followers, but I don't care because I love her. I paint the town red is my girl. Doja is my girl. If you're out there, my wife, she understands. So if you want to shout out, Soldier Boy, you my boy. I got your stuff up there ever since we went on live together. We played. I've been following you around the world. You're doing a great job. Bust the Bus. You my boy. You're doing amazing things with my daughter. I really appreciate you. If any of you reach out or want to give me,
you want to shout her out?
Yeah. You know it better than me. My mind is all full of
Majestic?
Yeah, Majestic. Give Majestic a shout out if you ever want to. Yeah, and a follow. And if there's anybody out there that want to help bring her up, she's got an amazing voice.
Beautiful
from a
voice.
Little girl in the church. Now she's a future. She's the up and coming.
Yeah.
Bust the Bus. Thank you for stepping up with her, and I really appreciate anything you do in the future for her. And in the now. Okay. That's it.
Said,
we're gonna land this plane. Without turbulence. It's a smooth flight. Yes. So just buckle in. Shut your devices down for now. Just do it slowly, but continue to tap. You don't have to put your devices on airplane mode because we're the future. So you don't even have to shut it down. But we're gonna shut out.
But we're gonna shut down.
Yeah.
So again, we'll see you when we see you. Hopefully next Sunday.
Love, peace, happiness.
Yeah. Peace, love, happiness, and hair grace.
Follow y'all and don't forget Tammy on the other devices.
Yeah. And don't forget,
you
can grab it on Amazon. Walking Away by Tammy Morrison.
Flip the back. And that's it.
Walking Away.
Yeah.
All
that's
right.
just one of the books.
Have a good one. Bye now.
Be blessed.
You know when